But how many people actually sit down and say, well, okay, why are we going to be monogamous? What's the point?
What tips can we offer people watching the video to preserve an already good relationship?
Well, I think in one sense, people should realize that one of the reasons for pair bonding, other than having children and protecting them, is to protect each other from the environment, from the hostile environment, from predators. One way I look at it is being in the foxhole together. As a couple in the foxhole together, or couple bubble. Couple bubble idea comes out of, I think, both Love and War and Wired for Love. And the idea here is that the couple is responsible for creating an environment, an ecosystem, where they ensure each other's sense of safety and security. They protect each other in public and private. They tell each other everything because they can. They're the first to know, not the last to know. They're experts on each other, and they also protect the resources that they create as a couple from intruding third things, people, tasks, and so on. They're very jealous of that, because if their resources are drawn away, then everybody suffers. The children, family members, their work, their growth. So the very first thing is why are you together? What's the point of you? What do you do for each other you couldn't hire someone to do? What's so special about your relationship? What do you serve? And if you can't answer that question, it's a problem. No, you should learn to answer the question, but that question has to be answered.
4 times a year, with holidays, we actually have our book, and we write down, one talks and the other writes, and talks about 6 months from now, 3 months from now, a year from now. I would feel good about myself or us if we. And we write it down, and it's lots of fun to read the next year and see what you thought you were going to do. And many times you do it just because it's down there. And then you do what I win and all of that good stuff.
In your relationships, do you have principles that you both believe in, that you both agree on, that are supportive, that are mutually good? Good for me, good for you. I mean, do you have that? Because so many people don't. Some people have implicit ideas about this until they break the rule and then they cry foul, right? But how many people actually sit down and say, well, okay, why are we going to be monogamous? What's the point? I find that if people don't, and I think this is a part of growing up and being an adult, if people don't make explicit agreements based on mutual goods and personal goods, they're more likely to act out. They're more likely, as they change through life, they're not going to stick to things because they're not breaking a personal principle. And that's, I think, what holds people together ultimately over the long run. We do these things because we can, and because if we don't do these things to preserve our safety, we both suffer. I mean, we're both going to pay the consequences, and we're both now exposed to the environment and all the things that can happen. We're no better off if we were alone. So I think most couples don't think about this. They have other ideas about, oh, we're in love, we have kids, we've been together for a long time, and so.
One of the things we do is share books, and then we talk about what we're reading, and it's makes it so much richer and so much more fun.
Do you put each other to bed at night by reading to each other?
No, we don't. We don't do it in bed. We do it before we go to bed.
Oh, good. Not while driving, though, right?
Yeah, right. Talk about the bed thing.
We think about it in terms of landings and launchings. The idea here is that we're most vulnerable as children and adults at night and in the morning. Because we're closing the day, right? Separations, reunions. So we're going to bed. We're existentially alone when we go to sleep, right? Pretty scary, and that's why we help our kids go to sleep to transition them, and then we're there in the morning, right, to launch them to the day. And adults need that too, and I tell people that if they don't believe that, they should try this. Close the night in some way, put each other to bed, wake up in the morning, launch the day, and see if your day is better, to see if your sleep is better. And this is irregardless of whether you're a night owl or an early bird. You can still have some little ritual that closes the day together. And it makes a big difference.
Makes a huge difference. I read your book, Wired for Love, if anybody's curious. I read his book, and that was the chapter that spoke to me the absolute most. I am an early bird. I get up in the morning with my kids every day. My husband could stay up until 4 in the morning. Every day of the year, it wouldn't faze him. And our paths don't cross. And the one day a week, right, where we go to bed at the same time is my favorite day of the week ever, right? And I thought about this after I read the book, and I went home and I said, honey, will you tuck me in? So I've started asking him this.
that's so
and
sweet.
it's beautiful. And he does it, and then I feel
I
loved
wonder
and
if he
cared
needs to
for.
be tucked in.
I know, right? So we'll get there too. But
My thought about that is all of what we do at the beginning of a relationship. We are eyeball to eyeball. We go to bed at the same time. We seek each other out when we get home. And if couples can continue that, then they have the same connection that they have initially. Because what ends up happening is couples end up living side by side rather than eyeball to eyeball. So it really is beautiful.
So this is a fantastic discussion. Thank you all. I feel like for the person watching the video, the takeaways here are to recognize that your primary bond in a marriage is to your partner, right? And to do everything you can, from a hug to putting them to bed at night, to waking up in the morning and launching their day. Those are the things you can really do to preserve a relationship and keep it going for the long haul.